in your experience, child care providers, teachers, or social workers, in your experience, is it common for white women, white men who are working in those fields to make comments like this, to sound like this?
I think it's more common than I'm happy with. Certainly there is a lot more multicultural awareness in training, but that usually only applies to things like when the festivals are, or the names for the different types of dress that people wear. It doesn't go deep enough, in my opinion. And I think the only way we can make it better is by challenging ourselves. But it's, you know, politically, you have to tiptoe around. And that's what makes me so angry about racism. I'm tired of tiptoeing around. And although this book was written in 1996, I really don't feel that life has changed that much in this country.
I would agree, unfortunately. This area of the world either. I think a lot of this stuff, it would be just as applicable today. One of the things that I have seen with the trainings, the quote-unquote multicultural trainings or diversity trainings, what I've seen is that frequently what will happen is that if we take, even though this is fictitious, someone like this nurse in this example with Leon, where she will get the trainings, right? So she'll realize, oh, okay, me saying that I'm frightened of these children, that's kind of a pattern and that sort of thing. They might alter the words that they use when they communicate about black and non-white children, but the thoughts are still there. And those white supremacist, racist thoughts are still manifested in racist treatment towards the black and non-white children, even though the language has been sanitized. And I think that makes it, in my view, that makes it even more dangerous, because at that point you don't really have any words to latch onto and say, see right there, she's making racist comments or he's making racist comments. You have lost some of the evidence to cite that this person might be a racist. Now you're just left with the effects, but you don't really have anything that would suggest why this is happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that I consistently cited. I've said, because they have a lot, that's kind of a big thing in this area of the world, the anti-racism trainings and diversity trainings, anti-racism workshops in the workplace. And what I've said, it allows racist white people to become more skilled at the way that they practice racism. They become a lot more difficult to catch. It's not that they're not practicing racism anymore. They've just become a lot more clever about the way that they go about practicing racism, and a lot of it is just around, they are a lot more mindful about what they say. Yes, I think for me, one of the key people that influenced, I suppose, my quest to try to challenge racism was actually an American called Jane Elliott. I don't know, she'd been on Oprah Winfrey a few times, and she did the blue eyes, brown eyes experiment to try to help her children where she taught to understand that no one is more superior to anybody else. And I think she did a lot of good work there, but even now, even though she's a lot older and she still tries to do these workshops, she came over to England and tried to carry them out. And even though she was working with people who'd seen what she did, they still went into that defensive mode. They still said from the beginning, but this won't help me because I'm not racist. And I think it's that masks so many problems that we suffer from. It's very difficult for somebody to hold their hands up and say, okay, I'm racist. Help me, help myself. I think it's a challenge, and some that we're not prepared to take on.
Jane Elliott, she's been a guest on this program 3 times. In fact, she told us some of the details when she went across the pond and how the white people in the UK responded to her and got very, very defensive, very angry when she was doing. I think that made the news over there. It was pretty big deal when she went over there and got all those white people riled up. But yeah, she admitted that she is a racist when she's on the program. And I would say it is white people. I think that's one of the things too that's very important, is to make sure to consistently point out it's white people, to not normalize as though this is everybody, that it is white people who have a difficult time acknowledging I'm a white person, I'm racist, and let's look at the many different ways that I practice racism, white supremacy on a regular basis. That she touched on that extensively in her many visits on the program. Wow. I wanted to make sure before we wrap up, I guess for folks out there, we have about 3 minutes left in the program. So if you think you might have a question, you should get your hand up now. Don't wait till the last minute. This is on page, let's see, which one do I want to make sure that I get?